Hello and welcome back to another vlog. Here we are on the couch with Nero Puppy, and right now it's story time. But first I want to show you how Nero would love to sleep every single night of his life. Exactly like this. He's got his head pushed up against my leg over here, and I'm really talking pushed up against my leg. There's some serious pressure over here. Okay? I've got my leg over his backside, his bum is being ever so slightly covered by a blanket, and he's actually sinking into the couch right now. That's perfect. It is all just happening the way it should for Nero. There you go. He's too cute. He's just too cute. I spent most of my evening here, and I've had a really long day. I've had a really long 2 days. Actually. So, I'm really glad I prepared a couple of videos for the period that Helene was supposed to arrive back in South Africa in, because I thought, well, I'd spend some time with her and not spend time working on videos, and it would be great if I had them prepared. But now it was great that I had them prepared for a different reason, and I'm going to start all the way at the beginning to tell you about all the ordeals Helene's gone through over the last 24 hours. I could even say 48 hours, but we'll just say that for now. So she left from her mother's place. They drove her to Dublin airport yesterday, let's say afternoonish, and that is on the 9th. Okay, so it might actually be 2 days ago. It depends on when this actually goes up. It's probably not going to go up too fast. It depends on how long I talk, actually. But on the 9th, the afternoon, they drove to the Dublin airport. Then she was meant to board a plane from Dublin to Paris. That's in France. So what happened was her mother dropped off. She went through the security gates and she waited. Then her plane got delayed once by, let's say, 15 minutes. Now, when that happened, there was already a problem that arose because she was on a connecting flight. She had to fly to Paris and then straight from Paris down to Cape Town, and the time between when she landed from her and got off her Dublin flight and had to get on her Paris to Cape Town flight was really short. I think she had about 35 to 40 minutes in total that she had to get off the plane, go through security again, find like the next gate that she needs to go through, and then get on the next plane and leave. So then her flight was delayed once in Dublin already, but that could still have worked. It was only delayed by like 15 minutes, but then just before she had to board, they stopped again and they said, whoa, there's something wrong with the plane. We're not sure what's up here, but we're going to delay you for a second time. And then Helene started worrying. She was like chatting to me on WhatsApp and telling me, listen here, this doesn't sound good. I don't want to get on this dodgy plane. But obviously she had to. It's been paid for. She had to do it. Now, it turned out the plane was okay. She made it to Paris, but she totally missed her flight. She was delayed for, I think, a total of about an hour, and then she still had to get off and find the gate and everything. So that flight left without her to Cape Town. She missed it. Then she had to go and stand around there, try and find someone who could help her to put her on a different flight, because it was obviously their obligation to do that. So she eventually found the right help desk, and these people were so uncooperative. No one in that airport, Charles de Gaulle or something, I don't know what it's called, wanted to speak English to her. No one, not even the official staff members of Air France would give her that courtesy. They just wouldn't do it. Now, funny thing, her mother told her afterwards, after it was way too late, that apparently the French don't like the Brits. And I don't know if this is a real thing, if it's a big deal or something, but if you're British trying to speak English to a French person, they're just going to totally ignore you. They're going to yabber away in French, and that's that. So she says that she thought they were mistaking Helene for a Brit, and that Helene should have introduced herself as a South African. Hey, I'm from South Africa. I don't speak a word of French. Let's try English. That's how she should have started it off, but she didn't, because she didn't know that in time. Now, she spoke to these French ladies behind the counter, and she was listening to them while they were talking to each other and trying to organize a flight for her. And then this was already at, I think, about 11 p.m. at night, because the flight was already like 2 hours. Then you add security on the one side, security on the other side. So she was standing there at 11 p.m. in Paris at the airport, waiting for these two bickering French ladies to sort her flights out. And then they apparently first chose to put her on a flight straight from Paris to Cape Town, which would have been ideal. One that would have left in the morning, the next morning. Okay, so there's another issue that arose. The next morning, and it would have been a daytime flight. She would have arrived in the evening in Cape Town. I would have preferred that. That would have meant that I would have seen her on the same day, because I was meant to pick her up that day at 11 a.m. in the morning at the airport. That was actually, by that day, I mean today. And they wanted to put on a flight that would have left in the morning and arrived here in Cape Town on that same day in the evening. But then, for some reason, they changed their mind and they thought to themselves it would be better to put on a flight to Joburg and then on another connecting flight to Cape Town. And that flight would only have left in the evening of the next day. So 24 hours later, a full 24 hours later. So then, this is the flight they booked her on. Done. AF 990, Air France 990. And I'm telling you now that we're not going to ever book anyone on Air France again, because the service was just so bad. Oh, and this couch is so good. I could fall asleep here right now. Just like my little Nero puppy. Now I may sound tired and look tired because I am tired. I sat awake waiting because I didn't trust it. I knew that there was a chance that she wouldn't make her next flight because we weren't in contact the whole time. She didn't get Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi in the Paris airport. You have to actually pay for it. She didn't have any money, or she had €10 as an emergency fund, but that's not very much. She had a card with her though, but let's not get to that. So I stayed awake. Okay, for us being an hour ahead, I was awake till about 2:30 a.m. waiting and waiting, making sure, staying up to make sure she was on her flight coming home, because I was obviously not informed as to what was going on. She told me all of this afterwards. Now, these two French ladies, they organized her flight, they booked her into a hotel, which was not at the airport. It was close. I think she said it was a 10-minute bus ride, which she had to do with, I think, one other woman in the middle of the night. So they had to get a bus at 12 a.m. Is it a.m.? 12 at night, midnight, and then take that bus to their hotel where they stayed. And then when she finally got to the hotel, she contacted me because they had free Wi-Fi there, and she told me, listen, I'm not on the flight. You're not going to pick me up tomorrow morning, because if you go there, I'm not going to be there. And then I was like, oh, that's just great. So she also obviously told me that she was only going to be departing the following evening. Or I guess technically the same evening, because it was already in the AM for both of us. Then we stayed awake a little bit and spoke to each other because she wanted to tell me about all the horrible things that happened and how rude all the French people were to her. So she did that. I listened. I spoke to her as well. I've got a fancy little Wi-Fi keyboard, not Wi-Fi, Bluetooth keyboard that I was using with my phone here. And it was nice talking to Helene. Okay, I enjoyed that a lot. And I miss her a lot. Obviously, Nero misses her as well. At least we are luckily going to be seeing her soonish. Soon-ish. There's an ish at the end there. So, she got to the hotel and she finally went to sleep at 3 a.m. her time, and I went to sleep at 4 a.m. our time. And then she had to obviously still wake up early because she needed to go get breakfast from the buffet. Now, here's another problem that arose as well. So many problems just coming from this whole affair. Really. Now, they booked her into the hotel, but they didn't tell her when she was allowed to, how long she was allowed to stay, what she was getting. They only told her that she gets a free breakfast and she needs to get it, before 10 in the morning. And then she had to obviously be up and at 'em before 10, and she needed to get her breakfast and get out of there. Now, that was obviously another problem because she firstly didn't get enough sleep, and secondly, she wasn't sure if she was allowed to stay longer in the hotel or not. No one told her. And then she asked at reception and they just didn't tell her anything. They wouldn't speak English to her at all. That's kind of rude. That's actually really rude. So she went back to her room, and that was now on the next day already. So she had breakfast. She went back to her room. She was planning on spending most of the day in her room because her flight was only that night. I'm really bad at explaining this. I hope you guys are understanding what's going on here. So, Dublin, Paris, hotel, sleep, next morning, breakfast. That's where we are right now. Okay? So, she had her breakfast, went back to the hotel room. She was planning on spending the whole day in the hotel room because she didn't want to hang around in the airport for like a solid 12 hours. That would have been really bad and quite unpleasant. But she ended up doing just that. She did. The reason was because they chased her out of the hotel at about 12 or 1 p.m. They came knocking on her door, and I really mean knocking. She says they were pounding on the door and they sounded really angry, and they were telling her, listen here. Well, she didn't know, but she thinks that's what they were telling her. In French, they were like yabbering away at her, sounding angry. She says it sounded like they were swearing at one point and pointing at papers and ticking off little boxes and saying, you got to get out of here. So she didn't immediately leave. She stayed a little while to see if they'd come back, and then, sure, they came back. A different woman came back, all official looking, and she still didn't speak a word of English to Helene. That's so bad. I don't know any French. Helene doesn't know any French, and for some reason they assume that this scared and lonely looking girl is going to understand every word of what they're saying. But I suppose the body language and the signals that they were making with their hands and stuff would have been enough. And they seemed to be enough because Helene wanted to leave. She thought that they were going to chase her out, and she was worried that if she stayed any longer in the hotel, which was apparently partnered with Air France, so it was an official airport hotel, if she had stayed any longer, she thought that she would have to pay for another day. So at about 1:30 to 2 p.m., she left. She checked out and she left. They didn't give her any hassles. I assume they were just happy to see her leave because they're rude like that. Then she went to the airport and she got 15 minutes of free Wi-Fi. She then, in those 15 minutes, proceeded to ask me to give her credit card details. So a Visa or MasterCard, which I do luckily have, so that she could purchase unlimited Wi-Fi for €10, and it was a good deal. Okay, it was a really good deal. She needed that Wi-Fi. I'm going to get some water because my throat's not doing too well. And my throat's not doing too well because I got woken up by Helene at 8 a.m. because she was... let me just try to get this top off. There we go. She couldn't sleep. She was being woken up by a taxi riot that was outside. I'm going to drink some water now. That's good. And for those that are wondering, this is a brand new bottle. I'm not reusing plastic bottles because someone told me I shouldn't be doing that. But she was woken up by a taxi riot, so she woke me up, naturally. And I don't mind. I don't mind that she messaged me because I wanted to hear from her. I always want to hear from her. Now, after that whole thing happened, I woke up really early. I took Nero for a walk and all that. But you don't want to hear about me. We're here to talk about Nero. No, we're here to talk about Helene. Let me cover you up, boy. There you go. There you go. Got him back where he wants to be. So, she was at the airport. She got my credit card details. She used them as she should have. And I got a little SMS, a text message notification saying, hey, a purchase was made for 130 Rand, which is just €10. And she got the details she needed. She got on the Wi-Fi, and she had unlimited Wi-Fi for 24 hours. And that was a huge relief. Let me tell you, that was a huge relief. Now, she had to wait around at the airport for, what was it, 10 hours? Because her flight only left 11:45, or about 11:35, let's say 11:35 at night. So she had to wait there for all that time, and the Wi-Fi made it that much easier because she could speak to me the whole time, and I spoke to her the whole time, and then she at least had something to do. Then her next mission was to find a charging point for her phone, because luckily she took her iPhone charger with, And then she found a nice couch to lie on, and then, wow, more drama. The little charger plug didn't work. So she had to go schlep her luggage around, and she had a lot of hand luggage around the airport looking for another spot to plug her iPhone in. And when she finally found that, it was actually past the security gates. But now before this, her mother told her that she needed to bug these people, the Air France people, to give her vouchers for lunch and dinner. Because you got to keep in mind that she had breakfast at about 8:30, 9 a.m. in the morning, and then she didn't have any other meals. She said to me that she took an extra muffin and an apple and then a croissant or something, and she kept that. She took it in her hand luggage and she kept that with her, and that was for lunch. Now, when she boarded the plane, she would probably have been given dinner, which is cool and everything, but that's very little food for a day, and she was complaining so much to me, and I get that the food was just bad because it was all carbs and there was nothing really green, okay? So she managed to get, I think, some bacon at the breakfast buffet, and she managed to get some croissants, and she had some orange juice, which was okay, and then she had a little bowl of grapefruit, of all things. But there were no, like, she never got any veggies or anything really that she wanted in, okay? She had been, this entire trip of hers to Ireland, she'd been craving vegetables. He's giving me a sour look. He says, Daddy, enough for the talking. But anyway, she didn't get the sustenance she needed, and then obviously she had to spend the whole day there. She didn't buy any lunch or anything like that. She didn't get these vouchers that she wanted. And then when she finally went through security and found herself a spot to plug her phone in, she sat down at that little spot and waited for like 8 hours. Then I sat on this spot right here for nearly the same amount of time. I was up and down. I had to go get myself some supper, and I took Nero for a walk. But while I was doing that, I was chatting to Helene the whole time. He's moving again. I was busy on WhatsApp with her, even while I was walking with Nero, just because I wanted to keep her company, and it felt like the right thing at the time. Sure, I was really tired. I'm still really tired, but I thought I wanted to tell you guys what happened while it was still fresh in my mind. I gotta say, I did have a really nice time talking to her all day long because, you know, it was like a Helene overdose before the next Helene overdose when she gets back the next day. Now, we spent the whole day talking on WhatsApp, then we tried a couple of iPhone games out, which was terrible. Okay, but she was like a really good sport about all of this. I thought to myself, well, she could actually do something while she's sitting there because she had unlimited Wi-Fi, and I obviously had Wi-Fi here to use. So we tried Hero Academy out, which was really bad. Okay, I didn't enjoy it one bit. I don't think we even got to play a proper game in it. We got like these little bits and pieces here and there. Then we tried Heroes of Order and Chaos out, which is like a MOBA type thing. And I had the problem that mine was lagging really badly because it doesn't run very well on regular iPhone 4s. She's got an iPhone 4S, so it was a bit better for her. And then I also kept getting disconnected and then got reconnected, and then I was dead. So that was like really bad. The game itself seems decent. It seems like something I would spend a bit of time on if, you know, it wasn't as laggy, I guess. Maybe if I had a better phone or something. But, you know, you ask yourself why. Why not just play League of Legends or Dota or Hon or whatever other games there are like that? It doesn't matter. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So I spent some time playing those with her, but most of the time was just spent chatting to her. And as I said, it was nice. I had a really great time. I'm super tired. She was super tired. And then when it got closer to time that she needed to board, so at about 9 p.m. her time there, her boarding was at 11:35 or something. But when it got to that time, she started getting like a tummy ache, and that's probably because she didn't eat enough, hardly anything. She had breakfast, then she had a muffin and an apple, and that was it. I feel so bad. That is actually so bad. But when it got closer to that time, she got like a tummy ache, and she was obviously getting really tired because she slept even less than I did, and it's all just bad. But She eventually got on the plane. She told me, I'm boarding now. No delays. They're letting people in. They're getting on the plane. We're going to fly now. So she should be on the plane right now, about an hour and a half into her trip. And she'll be arriving in Johannesburg in the morning sometime. Then when she gets to Johannesburg, she has to wait for 3 hours before she can board her flight from Johannesburg to Cape Town, which is another 2-hour flight. Interesting bit of trivia for you here. The flight from Johannesburg to Cape Town is further in distance than the flight from Dublin to Paris. That's intense. So it's another 2-hour flight that she has to take after a 3-hour wait, where she once again won't have anything. She does have, however, her South African card, so she can probably go into a shop there and buy something for a ridiculous amount of money, because airports always cost way too much. And added to that, she needs to stay behind the security gates because she's in transit, so she can't go out into the main airport terminal. And that's going to be terrible. But fortunately, I can phone her when she gets to Johannesburg, and it's going to be free because I've got so many free minutes on my phone right now. I don't phone very many people. I phone my mother, and I phone my father, and I phone my sister. And I would phone Helene if I ever had to, but she's generally here all the time, so there's no need. I'd phone Nero. Nero boy, I'd phone you any day of the week. Okay? He doesn't want to speak to me on the phone. No. He says, I don't like these phones that you're busy with all day long. No. I like face-to-face contact. I'm with you there, boy. I'm with you. So, Helene's on the flight. She lands in Joburg. She waits for 3 hours. She flies to Cape Town. Then she arrives in Cape Town at 4 p.m. Okay, and then it's just bad. Because at 4 p.m., if you're driving out of Cape Town, the traffic is just so terrible. Absolutely terrible. We are going to be driving home for, I'd say, at least 2 hours, maybe a bit more. And it's generally like a 1-hour drive to the airport, 1 hour and 10 minutes from here to the airport. But the way back is going to be at least 2 hours, maybe more, because of the Friday afternoon traffic. Then Helene would have missed this day that she should have already been here at home. And she wanted to actually go to the gym on Friday. She wanted to go do Pilates and stuff. And I had cleaned the house nicely. It was spotless. Then there was like this stormy weather here. The wind was blowing so much, it blew all the dust and stuff back into the house. But she fortunately said that she knows how it is because she's usually the one that cleans. And she said that, you know, the fact that I cleaned the house already was nice enough. That wasn't meant to be a present or anything. That was just me being decent. And I did it. Okay, I did it. I still have to wrap her presents. Somehow I still haven't gotten around to doing that. I need to wash the dishes. And I need to pack some washing away. And then just do a few more small things. I think I need to go to the shop as well. Tomorrow Nero goes to the vet again. He's actually doing really well. His skin is quite nice. Nothing wrong with it anymore. But it's obviously good to just go up for a couple of follow-up checkups to make sure that everything stays good. But whole bunch of stuff that I need to do tomorrow before I drive to Cape Town to fetch her. Hopefully I'm going to get some sleep tonight. The fact that I'm sitting here recording this for nearly half an hour is obviously not helping me out. But I wanted to tell you guys, it's like a heart to heart. I wanted to tell you the tough time that Helene went through and the terrible people that she had to come in contact with, and just everything. Okay, so her flight was delayed for like a full day, and she had to stay in a hotel and then get kicked out of the hotel by angry French ladies. You know, that's actually a theme. Angry French ladies. They've just been popping up everywhere. And if any of you are French, tell me, are any of these rumors true? Do you guys not like the Brits? That's not very nice. That's just not very nice. I wouldn't know. Okay, I don't know anything about it. I just know that Helene was crying on my shoulder. She wasn't literally crying, but that's what I'll call it. Crying on my shoulder about how terrible things were, and I totally get it. It's so bad knowing that, you know, I could have been at home in my own bed, but instead, here I am in this French hotel. Or right now in this French airport. He was barking. He was growling. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, man. I'm giving him a rub. Now his eyes are open. He was doing this cute little growl. He's so cute when he sleeps. He's so cute. That's actually why I'm uploading a video called Nero Sleeping Dramatically in the next day or two. Oof, you guys are gonna love it. So good. Not like this. He doesn't sleep like this. Got a much better view of his face. But I'm done. Okay. I apologize for explaining it badly, for my voice croaking out like 2 or 3 times. I've had a long day. Okay, and I'm going to go to sleep in a few minutes. I need to start a few uploads, start some rendering. I need to start this, actually, uploading, so it can be up by tomorrow morning. I'm glad that Helene is on her way back to this country so that I can phone her and speak to her. And then pick her up tomorrow afternoon, bring her here, and never let her leave again. That's it. I'm just staying with her forever and ever. It's done. Because I miss her. She misses myself and Nero. We all just miss each other. We do. We do. We really do. So that's it. I'm done. I'm finished talking to you guys. I hope this was okay. It was a raw vlog. An authentic experience. Because this is where I was lying playing Heroes of Order and Chaos absolutely terribly. She was the one getting all the kills. Okay, I got like 2 kills and she got like 5. I died like 7 times or something and she only died twice. She was good. First time ever playing it and she was like really good. Man. But, you know, regardless of everything bad that happened, I still had a nice time because I got to take a bit of time off doing work stuff, off making videos or anything like that, and I got to spend that time just concentrating 100% on Helene and making her feel better throughout all the troubles she was having. That's what I got to do. I'm glad her birthday is coming up soon and that I get to give her lots of cool presents. But I'm first giving her the Christmas presents. Those are actually Christmas presents over there. We haven't had our little Christmas yet. We're going to have it tomorrow when she gets back, and it's going to be glorious. But check back soon for more. Most importantly, though, happy wishing Helene well on her long flight. This video will go up before she lands. It'll be up before she puts her feet on South African soil. So that's it. Happy that.